Hello, and welcome BPL Nation. Today is a great day. What can I say, Fletch? Today we have Eyecandy versus Unknowns, and I'm just saying, if you were watching the C League stream, which you should have, regardless of if you're a Union player, if you're not a Union player, because it was a banger of a grand finals, we're coming to an end real soon, Fletch. B League and A League a little bit behind on schedule compared to C League because they have a couple more teams, but other than that, we're getting real close. I am Biscuit. I will be your color caster for the night. And to my left, you have the great, the one and only in the Fletch. How are you doing, Fletch?
I am doing incredible tonight. Like you said, it was an absolute great game there in that C League Grand Finals, obviously. Mirage coming out on top. A dominant season for our C League champions. But we've got, like you said, Eyecandy versus Unknowns in what I believe is an elimination match. Winner goes on to the champions bracket, and the loser is done. And here we are going to look at the bracket. The winner of this match is going on to play DIY in the champions bracket next weekend. So a lot on the line for these two teams.
Right, and look at the bracket. Just as you were saying, whoever loses goes home. No more space for those people that are not able to win all of their games in dominant fashion. And dominant is the word for the teams that are left, Fletch. Snapdragon didn't have one of the best seasons. They were looking a little bit rough coming into playoffs, but they won against Amalgamation, Average Joes, and now they're facing off against Aquila. But what concerns us today is Eyecandy versus Unknowns. Unknowns, of course, they also had a couple of rough matches, but look at their scoreline. 3-0 over Off-Tank Union and 3-1 over Worcester Steel Drivers Union. So extremely good record here as you go into playoffs. Whoever wins this match is going against DIY, and whoever loses, they pack their stuff and they go home until BPL 6 comes around. But Flesh, I also want to talk about like these rosters because these rosters are so stacked. I don't know how you get these players on a team. Like, look at this. If you're talking about Eyecandy, you're talking about consistency. Akko, Rafa, Pengalex, Mac, Tackle. These players, in my opinion, are like some of the absolute highlights on the whole league. Pengalex is considered one of the best DPS to just hit it, to just be here in VPL, and then you have Emilia, Regomors, and Y therefore just always there to bring like that variety onto the hero pool, the comms that some of these players might not have. They give them comfort, very balanced roster. But what do we have for our known Fletch? Because I'm seeing some big names right there.
Yeah, well, you can take up their names because I think this might be the first time I've casted either of these teams, so I am a little bit unknown. We've got Killswitch and King on the tank, Shoreline, Pi, and Mikey on the DPS, followed up by Silvertall's, Moon Bunny, and Bing in the backline. You can tell me what you think because I don't think much most of the time.
Hey, Shoreline Pi is one of those players that you have to have heard of if you've been in BPL. Like, absolutely consistent player. Mikey as well. Some of these CPS are like the kinds that they get a pick at random and you just win the fight off of that. And Silvertalls is one of those supports that absolutely goes for like $1 million in draft. Like, so these players are worth so much, Fletch. And when they are going against each other, you never know what is going to happen, which makes it even much more exciting. We're a little bit behind schedule, so I do think that the players may be more than ready to go in lobby. Our first map for the night is going to end up being Lijiang, but I am being told that Unknowns has a little bit of a special video made by one of our beautiful staff members, Beam Garden. So if we have the chance, we're gonna get to see it right about now, I'm hoping.
It ain't nothing like a fist full of cash or a blitz full of the hash that twists like a mustache from end to end, spread it like a rash from talking through your Walkman or at your disco bash.
That was a cool little video, huh?
Yeah.
For Unknowns? Yeah, fear of the unknown. I mean, one of the primal fears for sure, and hopefully they can strike that fear into the eyes of Eyecandy here tonight.
Right. I have a little bit of a problem here. Eyecandy versus Unknown's a little bit scary. Eyecandy has the best branding, to my opinion. It's so pretty, so pretty. And I don't know if I want to see them lose, Fletch. So they were having someone to go home, and it's one of those things that it makes you feel nervous. You know, I think both teams deserve it a lot, but I guess their gameplay will speak for themselves, Fletch.
Yeah, I mean, Eyecandy, the number 2 seed, I believe, in their respective group. Unknown's coming in the 5, had to start in the lower bracket in these playoffs, and you know, you were saying it earlier. I mean, they made a good run for themselves thus far. So, I mean, are they going to be able to keep this this streak going, or you know, Eyecandy, who just fell down to this bracket, are they going to be able to halt the progress of the Unknowns? And like you said, we're going to Lijiang Power first, one of the brawl capitals of the world, Brawl Rush. You know, I'm kind of expecting the Orisa, but I'd be more than happy to see something a little different.
Yeah, I think that lately we've seen a little bit of the rise on the Sigma. Like we've seen Doom a couple of times. It looks like Eyecandy starting up with the Miliox. I don't know if they're gonna roll out on the Doom. Of course, it's one of those picks that could work, but other than that, it's a little bit scary to be running it. King is on the Reinhardt, which is absolutely expected. You can also see the Orisa, and I do want to see the Orisa because, you know, this meta, Fletch, is all about standing still on point, looking pretty, and shooting things down every time that you can. So Eyecandy looking like they're rocking the Symmetra, the Bastion. This is one of those comps that doesn't want to move off the point, and Mikey is on the maze as he's gonna make Emilia's life really, really painful.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that the Doomfist, we saw it, or I saw it this morning because I'm a degenerate with no life. Gushue versus the Dallas Fuel. A dominant performance on the Doomfist on every single map that they played in that series. But it's going to be a Rafa that starts us out here. Killing Shoreline Pie. Pinglex putting in so much damage, chucking nades and bullets, but Mikey and King aren't done yet. One each. Happy to take this fight, but it's going to be King that falls next, and it's going to be Mikey and King falling last, and Eyecandy taking the first fight and the first flip here behind the watchful eye of the Doomfist.
Right, and I even want to know, one of the last games that happened in the regular season was Eyecandy versus Aquila. And Aquila undefeated team until they ran into Eyecandy with the Doom Fletch. So you have to be excited for this. King rolling into the point, and it's already a fight.
We see Emiliox trying to get that slam damage in, get that overhealth. Doing a pretty good job of it. On this map especially, you have the potential for the environmental kills.
Oh,
what a stick! Okay, okay, King stops the pin, but that's gonna be Eyecandy staying on the point, and I mean, what can you say? That was gorgeous and a good fight.
Yeah, that was a push that you love to see, right? Like it's one of those. They're like, oh, you were like coordinated until Wither puts a false bomb onto you, and then you are more than dead. Mikey, however, they do have the Blizzard, so they are going to be looking for Sugar's move, for Pengalik. They are gonna get one freeze and win the fight off of that. So that's your game plan. But our knowns, they're popping. Sorry, Badcandy popping the artillery. Oh no!
Pengalik drops the artillery on Mikey's head just as Mikey drops the Blizzard, not finding any freezes. Emiliox happy to slam in, immediately leaves because a windowed Bastion is not a fun sight for anybody. And speaking of that Bastion, no window in front of Shoreline Pie, but Emiliox going to fall, and Moon Bunny, sorry, shoving Suga's move off the map, and that's going to be Unknowns finally taking this point at 89%.
Yeah, they take the point, but it looks like it was a little bit of a costly fight. Silvertals doesn't have the window. Mikey, they do not have a wall. And it looks like Eyecandy's rolling up with nothing as well. So Unknowns, even though they don't have the ults, it looks like they will have time to match Eyecandy's. Emiliox looking for a really good position here on the Doom. The off angle is going to be more than scary, and they're going to make so much space for Pengo and Wither to work with.
Yeah, Wither so low has to play pretty safe. I mean, as a Tracer, you don't have that that immense health pool. We got the Terror Surge from King here, boldly spinning in to win, and Mikey cleaning up on it too. for the Symmetra. Shoreline Pie finds 2, and King shredding Wide Earth to nothing.
God, yeah, you're right. King is absolutely spinning in front of Wide Earth, and I do like to see the Orisa. The Orisa seems to be like it has a really good matchup going into Doom. You don't get Doom, you can spear him off of his block. There's so many ways to counter the character, but that also leaves your backline exposed as well as your artillery.
Now we're gonna see the airstrike, and it's gonna be Pengolex finding the Bastion Div. Shoreline not able to get away. And another pulse bomb out by Wide Earth, blocked by the Immortality Field, but cleaned up on very well. And I mean, Eyecandy at 90%, Unknown's not really on, you know, well-known mobility heroes right now. So, except for King. King switches over to the Doomfist, but not able to touch the point, and it's going to be Eyecandy taking the first point here on Night Market.
Yeah, the Doom is looking so good, Fletch, and that's what I love to see. Usually, when you're looking for the off-meta, you're looking at Sealy. You're looking at teams that, you know, they're just rolling up with their own strats, really just experimenting and showing what they can do. And Eyecandy seems to be proficient on these characters that, even though one may not consider meta, they can absolutely punch you in the face and knock you out. Eyecandy, however, looking to switch onto the Orisa, and now that you're on Orisa, that means that you're running basically the mirror matchup. The only difference being the Alari and the Lucio. The Lucio allows for really good engages. Fletch, I do want to note that, because the second that you're speeding on, Moon Bunny and Silver Turtles are scared. But during the neutral phase, during this phase in which none of the teams have the objective, in which they are just trying to fight for space, Ilari is gonna give you the edge with that damage, with that big railgun and solar power. She's gonna make you feel scared. So Eyecandy Unknowns, it keeps going. One map, 1 point away for Eyecandy to win this map.
Yeah, Rafa getting taken down early, got low, able to survive for a little bit, but a first pick onto the Lucio, that is that speed gone for the side of Eyecandy. They're just gonna disengage, but King doesn't want them to, so he'll sugar smooth. And now TPing in is Unknowns, happy to do that. Shoreline Pie shredding through Pengolex, and you know, mirror me again, see what happens, and Shoreline Pie happy to take that fight.
Right, absolutely daring them to even try and take the fight. They end up losing it on Unknowns. This is the thing that I've been talking about. If Rafa's not able to get good momentum with those engages, Unknowns are gonna absolutely roll them over with the poke damage onto their tank, onto their DPS, onto everyone. Shoreline Pie close to artillery, but Mikey's in a bit of a rough situation here.
Yeah, Wider. I mean, yeah, speaking of Mikey, able to help take down Ameliox and Pengolex. And Wider, okay? Ends up falling, but, you know, able to shred down Mikey late in that fight. And, I mean, 50% for Unknowns. Only a couple more fights here on Control Center.
Yeah, only a couple of fights left for the side of Eyecandy. Unknowns has the edge, but Pengolex, artillery popped and going for the Bastion.
Pengolex drops the airstrike on Shoreline Pie once again. And you know Pengo's happy about that one. Moon Bunny, though, dropping the window, finding their counterpart in Sugar Smooth. But Ameliox and Pengolex doing some work of their own. Pengolex did end up falling. But it's going to be Eyecandy that is finally going to be able to take the flip here at 78%.
Right, and looking like a little bit of a mirror of a last match. I don't want to say Rafa has the beat, so that means that whenever Silver Turtle tries to stun them, they are going to have to absolutely beat it, because that ultimate is brutal, Fletch. If you played against it in your Copper games just like me, you know how painful it is to get hit by one of those. Eyecandy, they have the ultimate advantage, but it looks like Unknown's slowly but surely creeping onto the point.
Here is Shoreline Pie's airstrike. Oh
no, so many!
It finds two, they're all grouped up for a beautiful airstrike from Shoreline Pie. Wide Earth ends up careening off the map in what's probably a good decision, but Shoreline Pie coming up with 3 and only 1 fight left here if they want to win this round.
I think Rafa's gonna have to be the one rolling onto the point, because other than that, Eyecandy has no one speedy enough as the program themselves to make it onto the point. 5% ticking, and Fletch looks like Eyecandy's in a bit of a pickle.
Yeah, Ameliox popping the Terra Surge. able to take down Mikey. We see
No!
they don't touch. They don't touch. White Earth killing too, but they don't touch.
Oh my good god, this is not fair! How did Rafa not touch? I think they got booped?
Ready for battle.
I don't know. Oh, but I mean, we've got a map on our hands. Match. It's early to say if this match is gonna be super close, but Lijiang Tower has been nothing but unbridled fun thus far.
Right. I do want to say, Fletch, if they end up losing on the side of Eyecandy, they are gonna be bitter about that one. They could have turned it around. They could have ended up winning it because they had the old advantage. They had the first 2 picks. But now you gotta chill out because we're moving on to the Gardens of Lijiang Tower, Fletch. And when you're on Gardens, you know one thing for sure. Emiliox is going to be on that Doomfist again. Suga's move, the Ringer for the Knight, by the way, not an official member of Eyecandy, is gonna be helping them out with the Bab. A lot of heals, but it looks like Unknowns. They have controlled this point.
I mean, yeah, I think a good boop there by Shoreline Pie to throw Pengalex forward into a bad spot, able to take that down, but White Earth finding Shoreline Pie themselves, and Rafa very low, not going to live. That's not what I was gonna say, but you know, they find Rafa, and White Earth able to stay alive. Now they're gonna take White Room, I think.
Yeah, they're gonna go over to the White Room, Fletch, and I do like the rotation. Look, Unknowns, you cannot keep moving through the same places, but you're going into the turrets, and a Doom that is slowed by symmetric turrets is an easy picking. Look at that. Eyecandy moving onto the point slowly. White Earth trying to get a couple of off angles, but nothing just yet. Mikey getting that big poke damage, and Shoreline Pie about to get artillery.
Imagine that.
No.
Imagine that mid-air shot. That would have been so cool. But yeah, I mean, King just holding down this front line, and Emiliox low in a lot of danger, but it's going to be Pengalex that starts this fight off. Chucking that nade in on the shoreline, and it's looking like Eyecandy is happy to just walk in here with this window by Suga's move. Pengalex and Emilio putting in a lot of work, taking out 2 each, I believe, and make that 3 for Emiliox.
Right, great window, great play from Emiliox. Just the Doomfist may not be the best of tanks, but the disruption that he causes, Fletch, cannot be understated. 4 ults on the side of Eyecandy coming up, and Unknowns, they have the bigger ultimates and the scariest ones. 5 ultimates. Suga's move, they were forced to use their window, and now Unknowns, they have to use their artillery soon, and that's what's gonna happen real soon.
Yeah, Pengalex taking a seat, trying to find a pick, and it's going to be Mikey that is blown to smithereens by Pengalex's airstrike. And there is, I believe, Mikey's POV in the dirt. Yeah, we've got the pulse bomb for White Earth, and
no!
It's gonna get stuck on the Shoreline Pie, who doesn't get the ult off, I don't think. But Emiliox and Pengalex gonna clean up in the White Room, squeaky clean now. And I mean, 50% for both teams.
Yeah, and it's a little scary, Fletch, because you managed to kill Symmetra before they were able to engage with Window and Shoreline Pie. They got pulled before the ult even happened. They gave up when that happened, and I do not blame them. Rafa, they do have the beat as well, and that's gonna come in real handy when King Terra surges in front of them. 60.2%. This might be last fight.
Yeah, gonna see the beat coming out from Moon Bunny for the engage. The Terra Surge from King gets cleaned up by Mikey. Mikey with 2! Silver Charles able to stay alive with a well-placed Immortality Field, helping keep the team alive. And just Rafa left on the point, no more. That's gonna be at 82%. Unknown's gonna flip it back toward their favor.
Right, they managed to flip it in a beautiful fight. They didn't use that many ultimates, in my opinion. You know, you use the King, the King ultimate was just bound to happen, and Rafa counters with beat, which is bad news. You have nothing for engage apart from Suga's move window, which might be the only thing that really saves you from this one. Pengalex, those artillery have been huge during this whole game. So let's see how this one goes. Last fight, Fletch, for both teams.
Shoreline Pie gonna start us off though.
Oh, Unknowns.
The window from Silver Talls coming up big. I mean, I said it earlier, I'll say it again. A windowed Bastion is the most terrifying thing in Overwatch right now. I mean, just a nightmare for anybody standing in front of it.
Yeah, if you're in front of the window, you're guaranteed to die. Rafa fighting for the touch on Widerf as well, and it looks like Unknowns is on the task to stop them. Artillery, though, coming in.
Yeah, the Tracers have their pulse bombs. The airstrike from Pengolex not finding.
No! No!
Wider
my
blinking
God.
right off the map in the most unfortunate way possible at the end of the map. Moon Bunny establishing their dominance on the Lucio Miliox, taking down Moon Bunny, but stuck and dropped an airstrike on, and I mean, that is a banger of a map that goes toward the unknowns.
That is a banger, and one thing is for sure, that's a game. That was a game of all time. I don't know what to say. Like, how did that happen? Blinking off the map, we see C9 a winning fight on second. Eyecandy a little bit salty with their luck, but Jukas Blue Pengolex go down with a great artillery, and you cannot take it away from them. There were a couple of mistakes from Eyecandy, but Unknowns just played that beautifully, and you cannot say that they did not. 2-on-1 for our first snap, and the series keeps on moving. Fletch, this is gonna be as close as it gets, moving into our possible semifinals.
Yeah, I mean, I did like the Doomfist on Night Market. I didn't think, I mean, it was okay on Gardens. I just didn't think that it found the same kind of value that it did on Night Market, not Night Gardens. What are you saying? But the Doomfist, definitely a niche pick. You have to be really, really confident in the Doomfist in order to make it work.
Yep.
So, I'm looking forward to seeing if Eyecandy is going to want to keep that going. The next map is going to be Hybrid, and it's their pick, so maybe they try to go somewhere where they can try and run this Doomfist. I don't know.
Right, the Doomfist on the side of Familiax is one of like the trademarks of Eyecandy, but I do expect to see a little bit of a switch. You know, moving on to these next maps, playing Doomfist can be a little hard, especially when you're going into the Bonnie. Oh my god, Weather is insane. You're going into the body, you're going into dive maps, which of course Doom works, but we know what you usually play, right? Right, Flash, you play the Monkey for that big bubble, for that big damage and the cleave on your Tesla gun, or you play the Demoner to put the front to back play style, defend your backline, attack the Monkey, do not let the dive on top of you kind of style. Beautiful pulse bomb right there, and oh my god, this first match was so good, Flash, and I love it because you know the rest are going to be just as good or even better moving forward.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I mean, like we're saying it, this is a winner go home match. Neither of these teams want to do the ladder, and I don't blame them. And that is when teams are at the most fun to watch, in my opinion. Oh goodness, Widerf, that's just unlucky. But yeah, a winner go home situation for these teams, and I mean, these players are showing out and showing up, and they're trying to keep their season going.
You know that when during like these scenarios in which there's no longer like a champions bracket, there's no more chances to like lose. That both teams are like on edge. The nerves are real. You're not aiming like you're used to on Baxter. Your comps are not the same, but you're like hyped. You really want to get in there, and I'm rooting for both of these teams because I absolutely love the work that they've been putting in. You know how much practice goes into these seasons, Fletch? So much people like just sacrificing their extra time, learning the game, learning these new metas as like the patches roll out. So you know, anything could happen. We're waiting to see what the map pick is going to be, or if there are any switches coming in. However, the people picking the map are going to be the team on the side of Eyecandy. Moving in, we have the option of Numbani, we have the option of Midtown, and we have the option of
It's going to be Eichenwald.
Oh, Eichenwald.
On stream, we see it just now on the graphic. It's going to be Eichenwald, which maybe you can run the Doomfist if you really want to, right? I really do. I think it could work, especially, you know, on that second point where there's a lot of, you know, high ground and verticality. It's always been the best point on Eichenwald for dive or pseudo dive maps, or comps, sorry. And the other two points, however, definitely I think are leaning toward the power that Orisa currently holds.
Yeah, like the first point is always all about the Orisa, the Ramatra back before you know, a couple of patches hit and it turns out that he's not as good anymore. But you know, it's always about the brawl at the beginning. You're trying to break through, but you could definitely pin the monkey as well. Like dive in onto the backline, bubble them up, get a big ante, and win the fight solely off of that. So Fletch, the playstyles on Iconol vary so much that I think we could see anything coming from both of these teams. We have a couple of switches coming in, mainly Mag Tackle on the tank. I do believe that Unknowns are running the same composition, unless I'm missing something. But yes, it looks like Eyecandy is on the defense side first, rocking the Orisa on this beautiful, beautiful map. Thank you for the angles, observers, production, and all of the people working behind the curtains. And Unknowns on the attack, rocking the Orisa as well. Mikey on that big Torf pick, and I'm excited to see how this one goes, Fletch. 1-0. If Unknowns wins this, the momentum is definitely on to their side, and they could win it all really fast.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. Rafa, I thought they were gonna play the Orisa Rush, but I guess coming out on the Kiriko instead of the Lucio, not really a common pick. Unknown's a little more traditional with the Iari BAP comp, along with the Orisa, the nade from Pengolex doing a lot of damage right off the rip. I think it hit everybody, but yeah, we're gonna get into this fight here. We see Mag Tackle trying to control the Okay, Pengolex sticking the nade onto Shoreline Pie, and Wider's Dynamite proving to be too much for the Sojourn player, and I mean, they die super quickly, and that's gonna be Unknowns having to back out really fast.
Yeah, Unknowns looking like they hit a little bit of a wall right here, running into the Orisa, running into the Ash as well. The burning damage is absolutely insane, and Pengolex is about to have the artillery. Unknowns, however, slowly moving into left side. The backline is a little separated, Fletch. Anyone could die here.
Moon Bunny already has the window locked and loaded, but it doesn't matter because Wider gonna pick off a Shoreline Pie once again. And, you know, gotta go through all of those deployable items before you can get to the enemy team, but finally Pengolex taking it down Silvertoes on the Iari, and it's going to be Unknowns having to play a little bit safer.
Yeah, it's just so hard running into these compositions with the Bastion and the Ash, right? The poke is absolutely insane, and Rafa with those Kunas, one headshot could spell your demise. And we're moving in, and the artillery is going to be a huge stop sign.
Moon Bunny getting run down by Mag Tackle, staying alive with the Immortality Field, but it's going to be Moon Bunny. They're going to take down Mag Tackle early, who was way out of position. Eyecandy's still on this defense, looking not so strong anymore, but Rafa starting us out for the Eyecandy, and Bob is out, but doesn't get to the point. I think it probably bounced off of somebody and hit the corner.
Yep, it looks like the ball was not able to stall as much as expected. And one of the problems, Fletch, is that Mag Tackle overcommits on trying to kill Moon Bunny. They underestimate that BAP basically has 1 bajillion HP, more HP than Bob at some points, and you're never going to kill him. And the group reacts perfectly. Unknowns, they see the tank just like divided, they collapse, kill him, and win the fight off of that. And great high ground takeover.
We're gonna see the Captive Sun out from Silvertalls, but King, the only one who's able to take advantage of that ultimate, eventually falling though, taking 2 with him. I mean, pride.
Right. Look at the way that they're playing right now. Unknowns is able to like go into the high ground, but they ultimately push out by the side of Eyecandy, and now we have 3 minutes and a half. Not the biggest of time banks. Fletch is pretty big, but you know this is definitely doable. Like this point is absolutely huge, and both teams have to make some serious commitments if they want to win, and the TP is going to be one of those.
Yeah, they're TPing to this staircase to try and take the high ground, and they're gonna find Sugar Smooth here as a first pick in this fight. The other players on Eyecandy able to get out and around the corner. Terra Surge out from Mag Tackle.
Big.
Okay, Pengolex able to help clean up on that Terra Surge from Mag Tackle, but Mag Tackle gonna get traded out. Both Orisas are dead, and we see Eyecandy trying to take this high ground for their Bastion and Ash players. TP out for Mikey. Oh, it's just Silvertall's left in the back line.
Oh, and Rafa's going in.
Okay, disengage. But you know, you don't want to get too overzealous there. Even as a carry, we're gonna see the overclock out from Shoreline Pie. Ooh, Pengulex gonna start this out though. Shoreline Pie not quite able to get that kind of value that you want to see from the overclock. And Mac Tackle and Pengulex able to clean up here.
I'm just saying, when Pengulex runs up to your face and goes to the turret form, you know that you are doomed, because that 30% damage reduction pledge may not seem like much on the grand scheme of things, but it is able to tank more than a couple of those Trojan shots. The TP strat going into high ground, and Pengulex absolutely swamped here.
Pengulex jumped on, but I mean, able to take down Shoreline Pie though, does get blown up by the Captive Sun. Mac Tackle able to track down Silvertalls after that little jump that ERE can do, and it's not looking great for Unknowns at the moment. Actually, they're flipping it. Down to King and Shoreline Pie are putting in everything. Mikey and Moon Bunny are back, and now that, you know, they flipped that. But Pengulex staggering Shoreline.
Yeah, without Shoreline, you no longer have that range, and Pengulex has the artillery, so no matter where they are on the map, they are a threat. They're going to stay in the back artillery and let Mac Tackle and Shukas move do the rest. 1 minute left, Pledge, and we're going to see a bit of a desperate push on the side of Unknowns.
We're going to see the airstrike out from Pengulex, and the window out from Shukas move to help take down King. Rafa, a headshot on to Mikey, and Eyecandy now confident and looking strong, taking down 3 there on the hunt for, I believe that is Moon Bunny right there, and not gonna be able to find him. They are able to stay alive, Moon Bunny, and you know, good job not getting staggered, but Pengulex finding Mikey.
Oh no, Mike is down, and this is such a huge Terra Surge.
Terra Surge out, finds the pick onto Silvertalls, gets the damage on to Moon Bunny, and I mean, I don't actually think that it's possible to get a retouch here for Unknowns, and that's gonna be it. Eyecandy's gonna hold. Wait, Mikey's okay. Mikey tripped over a rock.
Yeah, it looks like Tracer she may be able to slip through time, but if you trip on a rock, that's gonna be painful. And Eyecandy looks like they were able to hold in a really good position. You know, it's not too close to the door, in close, like at the end of the second point, but it's still pretty far, and the second point is tough to crack. I think we've both experienced it before, Fletch, and this is a scary prospect to be moving into. But only 1 point here for the side of Unknowns, and as we move on, Eyecandy looks like they're looking really dominant onto this point. Again, I do want to note, Fletch, whenever a team picks a map, you know that they've prepared for it. They've been scrimming it, they've been practicing their comms, their rotations, and everything that has to do with the map. Again, beautiful angles, thank you production. It looks like Eyecandy is going in with the big Mac Tackle on the Orisa. Mac Tackle had great recognition towards the end of the point, like when someone was spread out, use that Terra Surge, get that big pick, and win the fight off of that. Unknowns, however, looking like they're rocking the most obnoxious comp of all time. The Torb and the Bastion are guaranteed to bring that big poke damage, regardless of your clicking heads, clicking bodies. The spam damage is so good, and the pressure just cannot be understated. But Shugas, Move, and Rafa, Kiriko, Bap, big damage on the support as well. This could go anywhere.
Yeah, and Widerf opting to go back to the Tracer that looked pretty good on map 1 here. So it's going to be durability versus you know, not so durable for Eyecandy. So we'll see what's gonna happen here. Can Widerf's comfort be what Eyecandy needs, or is Mikey's turret going to be a nightmare for the Tracer player? Speaking of, that turret is no longer in action here. Supplemental damage gone already. But Eyecandy taking this space quite effectively. Unknowns not able to quite yet peek around that corner. Shoreline Pie getting thrown into a wall, but the turret form damage reduction able to keep Shoreline alive for a while, but ends up falling. Wider gets traded out for Moon Bunny, And this Bastion from Pengalex doing so
living.
much damage, but Mac Tackle and Sugar Smooth able to keep the fight alive for Eyecandy, and that is going to be the capture for Eyecandy. And that's a lot of time.
Yeah, Silver Trolls was fighting their demons right there, and it was a little scary, and they end up dying for it. But in the end, that's just a beautiful push from the side of Eyecandy. White Earth does get traded out, but Pengalex manages to get the damage. Mag Tackle manages to get in, and that is more than enough to give you 5 minutes on the initial push of the first point. Everyone is on high ground, and now Eyecandy's big question is going to be, how do we get them off of there? And one of those answers is going to be White Earth, who's planning a beautiful off angle on the side of Eyecandy, right behind them.
Yeah, speaking of White Earth, has this pulse bomb just about, but that turret from Mikey being an issue. We're gonna see the airstrike come out from Pengalex, not finding anything there, but White Earth, a pulse bomb onto Shoreline Pie, and able to get rid of the turret. That's not so scary if it gets pulse bombed, is it? But I mean, with the Bastion gone, this is looking scary for unknowns, and even scarier is a window on the high ground. We're gonna see the
Mikey?
gonna find a pick from the
Rafa.
Okay. Wait.
Hello?
The point, guys?
What happened?
Okay.
Okay, that was a little
Alright,
weird.
yeah, okay. Well, White Earth making use of the Tracer, slipping past unknowns, and happily carrying the point to that beautiful golden box of victory. We're 1-1 now as Eyecandy takes their map pick of Eichenwald, and now it's up to unknowns to respond.
Yeah, I'm sorry for the weird cast. Just at the end, it was a little confusing. What was going on that whole time? Like, there's like a random section of like Eyecandy players shooting unknowns with a sun under the bridge. There's like people taking a 1v1 all the way back in Nobani. Like, it's so confusing what's happening. But in the end, Eyecandy just overwhelms them. And Fletch, that was textbook Nobani. I hate playing that map, but it looks like I'm gonna have to take some notes from the page of this A-League team. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I mean, Eyecandy looks strong for sure, putting Mac Attack in for the Orisa. You know, I wasn't quite up to speed on the on the swaps at the beginning. I was saying, oh, maybe they'll bring out the Doomfist here on Eichenwald, but nah, Mac Attack holding it down on the Orisa and looking damn good at it. Now we're going to Escort, and it's going to be up to unknowns to respond here and try and take this series back into their hands. No matter what, one of these teams is headed to match point.
Yeah, and I do want to say before we move on, we're gonna have a little bit of a break. You know, the action over here in BPL is fast, it has to go on, but at some points we need to take a little bit of a breather. So if you're watching the stream, just lay back, don't take your eyes off of the screen, because BPL Season 5 qualifier round 3 is going to be back in just a couple of minutes.
Seek me out, hear me shout, come get it, don't you simmer down right now. Want you acting like you in the wild, old style, give me no doubts. Let me know what you want, your dark desires in your thoughts. Yeah, you can hunt me like a sport now. I got a cold heart, but I'm running hot. I let you cut in that line if you want the spot. When you're ready, baby, come get it. You better work hard, what you waiting for? I'm not a domino boy, but I'll take the floor when you're ready. Oh, baby, come get it.